I still have my first car that my dad bought when I was 14, my Jeep CJ5. My grandpa was a mechanic. But weekdays, we were at my grandpa's shop. Tire looks pretty simple on the outside, but it's not. There's a heck of a lot.
Do you feel a sense of responsibility being a CEO of a company that's been around for 126 years?
It's a big deal, right?
It is a big deal.
Don't mess it up.
We have the largest manufacturing footprint in the U.S. for tire makers. Last American tire company standing. But we'll do what we need to do with that to make sure that we stay competitive. Favorite thing about tires is being number one in tires.
All right, we're in Akron, Ohio, and right behind me, obviously, you can see the iconic Goodyear Blimp. We're at the hangar at Goodyear Tires, and we're gonna be talking to their CEO, Mark Stewart. They have 68,000 employees. They did just under 20 billion in revenue in 2024, and we're gonna be talking to Mark about tires, technology in their industry, and of course, their iconic Goodyear Blimp. My name is William Salvi. This is the CEO series where we have real conversations with real CEOs. You better like and subscribe to our channel. Let's go talk to Mark.
Goodyear tires and Goodyear service for more good years in your car.
All right, we were with the CEO of Goodyear, Mark Stewart. Mark, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for coming.
So where are we right now? I know this is a special occasion with the Blimp. Can you tell me a little bit about this?
So we're at the infamous hangar for the Goodyear Blimp, or the one of three in the U.S. And this one has just been reskinned to the Pilgrim package, I guess is the right way to call it, from back in the original time 100 years ago.
Nice. And the Goodyear Blimp is the marketing play. You don't sell or manufacture blimps. You're all tires.
Well, when you go back 100 years, actually under one of my predecessors, Litchfield,
okay.
This was in Goodyear Aerospace. This was going to be the luxury liners of the inlands, right?
Okay.
And so it started off that way. Goodyear made hundreds of these through the wartime efforts, and actually they spent a lot of time out in the field protecting the Navy ships during World War II, and then became one of the most well-known marketing icons, right, around the world.
When we were presented with the opportunity, I was like, absolutely. I knew exactly what they were talking about right away, and I was.
You just wanted to ride in the Blimp, man.
I did want to ride in the Blimp.
Careful on the stairs.
Careful on the stairs.
Make sure you're holding the rail, man.
And so this is the 100th year?
The 100th year. So kicking off 100 cities in the 100th year. It's pretty awesome.
I got to be honest, I did not expect it to be like a plane, like the seats and everything are.
It is.
Do you ever get frustrated that when, like Goodyear, it's obviously a business with tires and that's your business, but do people only bring up the Blimp?
And so it is. It's both, right? You see both. But when I first started, I was like, okay, guys, we're one of the top 5 recognized names in all the world, right? It's like there's Kleenex, there's peanut butter jelly, there's Goodyear.
Yeah.
And then you go to, okay, and some people will say Blimp, some people will say tires, some people will say, oh, I'm not quite sure.
Question about.
But yes, it's selling tires, by the way.
Yeah, you're like, by the way, we're not a Blimp company.
It is.
So how has your first year and 4 months been as CEO? I know it's still new and you got a lot of plans going on and you're in the middle of those, but how has it been?
No, it's been a blink of an eye in a year and a little bit, and we've really kind of simplified our messaging, if you will, and this is a great year to do it, right? The 100-year anniversary of the Blimp, 126 for the company, and for us to really get back on the pedestal instead of being number 3 to move back to a number 1 position. And everybody in the company is focused, and we're really getting after it.
Can you talk to me about the Goodyear Forward plan?
It was a grassroots effort to come forward to say, we really have to do some transformation in the company, right, to get the company super healthy and vital for the next 125 years at that time. So as I came on board, it was launching. And so I spent some due diligence time in that myself before signing on.
Yeah.
But it really helped me in the decision-making process to come as well, right? Not just all of the great folks that I met across the Goodyear network and the board, but that transformation are the things that I've spent most of my career doing, is that kind of transformation efforts, right? Of really taking taking things and helping to lead to make them better.
Do you feel a sense of responsibility at being a CEO of a company that's been around for 126 years?
It's a big deal, right?
It is a big deal.
Don't mess it up.
Do you ever feel that though?
You feel that every day.
Did you have any formative experience when you were growing up that made you think like, yeah, no, I'm capable of like being a leader at large companies? I mean, Amazon, Stellantis.
You know, I'm an engineering nerd, right? Electrical engineer by trade, and so I've always been into cars, always into math and science, and then just when I started in manufacturing after I got out of grad school, and I'd been in space and defense for a while, and it just had the manufacturing bug, right? I love everything about it. I love working with people every day. I loved having that responsibility as well, and just always took different assignments and tough assignments that were going to help grow, and things just worked out this way, right? There was no grandiose plan, so to speak. It just kind of happened that way. Some of it's timing, right?
You're on.
I got a special gift for you here since you came out to see us today.
Yeah.
But, you know, blimps are cool. But
Was this your statement,
Yeah.
Mark?
But no, they came up with blimps are cool. I think they're cool.
So the tire business, the technology around it, it's when I think of tires, I think to myself, it's rubber.
Yeah.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
So it looks like a black donut, but it's not. There's so much more. As we talked earlier, there are so many different components that go into it, so many different materials.
Go all the way to the other side of the world, right?
Yeah.
To the rubber trees and the plantations. If you've ever been to Thailand, you'll
I
see the
have.
little cups
Honeymoon.
on the side of
Yeah.
the tree, right? And that's where tires start. You have that. You've got synthetic rubbers. You've got a lot of sustainable materials today, like soybean, rice husk. You name it. As we get more and more sustainable, so it goes through a whole series of different mixes based on the compounds. There's a tremendous number of different compounds depending on if you're looking for performance, if you're looking for EV, if you're looking for durability. There's just a whole host of things that go into that. Comes out, it's extruded, and it starts looking like a metal ingot, except it's rubber ingots, I would say, right? It goes through extrusion, slicing, and then they all start coming together in different processes.
Nice.
Built up. Then it cures into basically a giant oven. It could be anywhere from minutes to a half a day, depending on the size and the makeup of that tire, and then goes.
Did
through
they
all
put
the
you through like a
processes.
boot camp of
I can now make a tire that is not
Knowledge.
scrapped, and I feel very proud
Can
of
you?
that.
Yeah.
And there were some laughter, I think, while I learned that process. It's a little more challenging. Sometime we'll have to take you to the race plant where all the NASCAR tires are made down the street here.
Are you an exclusive partner of NASCAR?
We are the tire partner of NASCAR, and for almost 80 years, I think.
Very nice.
Yeah.
We're in the blimp.
In the blimp. You
100
feeling
years.
nauseous? You okay?
I feel great. Because I heard it's not the same as a plane.
It is not the same as a plane.
Yeah, I heard it's an
I've also
interesting-
not been up on a windy day, so
Yeah,
'cause the guys don't like to take us up on a windy day. I don't think they like to clean the windows.
No. Yeah. Let's walk back to you choosing this role. You just said you did a lot of due diligence. And I know it has a lot for you to choose, but then there's also like an interview process,
Yep.
which you don't hear very often with like a Fortune 500 company.
Yeah, so you get the reach out call, and again, love working at Stellantis, and still love them dearly as good friends and good customers both. But started researching and taking a look, and throughout my career, I'd always wanted that opportunity to be able to have the opportunity to lead the company. For me, it was more than just that aspect, right? It was around the transformation. It was every person that I met from the board, the leadership team, knowing others. It just looking for the right cultural fit, right, the right people fit, and for sure it fit the bill for me. It also helped a little bit of pulling a heartstring. My dad worked for Dunlop for for 40 plus minus years. So I grew up in a tire home.
So your grandfather too was a mechanic?
My grandpa was a mechanic, and so I spent afternoons after school, and he liked to play weekend farmer. But weekdays we were at my grandpa's shop, messing around and pinching fingers, all kinds of fun stuff. But in the weekend we'd be out on the farm doing stuff with him too. So always working with hands, and always about cars, right? So somehow my whole career is pretty much, except for a little bit of Amazon time, has been in cars or engines, whether it's jet engines or car engines.
What would your dad say to you being a CEO?
I don't know. I think he'd be proud.
That's super cool, because it seems like you and him and your grandfather, and you too, it seems like you're really into cars.
Car people.
Because I am not a car person.
What?
I like them.
Come on, man.
I know. I think they look good when they look good, but I don't know anything about about cars.
I still have my first car that my dad bought mom and dad bought when I was 14, my Jeep CJ5.
The same.
It's kind of appropriate that the car.
That's wild.
That Jeep.
Yeah. Do you drive it?
I go and sit it in the garage.
Okay.
I had to do a grounds up restoration that was past my capabilities, even after being in my grandpa's shop. And so that's one I sit in it and think about it. I drive it occasionally on a Sunday. That's it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the blimp is huge. As you can tell in the interview setup, it is a massive structure. I thought that it was really fun to hear about Mark's interview process to become the CEO. We hear about CEOs being appointed or being hired or being brought on to lead a company like this. We hear about it fairly frequently, but you don't really hear about the actual intricacies of the interview process. And him just saying that it took months and there's a lot of due diligence, there's a lot of research, you're traveling to meet and talk with people to get a sense of what the company culture is and what the people are all about. It was really interesting to hear the interview process of a CEO that manages an $18 billion company. You just don't really hear about it too often. So I would like to hear more stories from CEOs at this type of company. I would like to hear more stories about their interview process, quote unquote, because we all have done interviews. But what about the CEO of a huge company? Is this the best part of your day?
It's awesome.
Does dealing with the volatility of the market worry you at all as CEO with so much going on? Literally every week it seems like there's new news and something different coming up. So
well, we used to say the crisis du jour, but that was in 2007 and 8 of the Great Recession, and then it was the microchip crisis, and then it was COVID, and
just
now it's tariffs,
so
there's always something. And I started in the supply base a long time ago. Let's just put it that way. in the early 90s, and from that side, it's just how we're built, right? In the supply community, as well as in the aftermarket and replacement community when it comes to tires. So we're always up for the challenges and the flex, and that's what we got to do to survive and thrive.
How are you dealing with the tariffs? So President Trump will announce one day 25% on Canada and Mexico, and then the next day he'll pull it back and delay it.
Yeah.
How does that affect business strategy?
Well, for us, one of the things we're really actively engaged in Washington, with our Senate and House members, as well as with the administration. We have the largest footprint of manufacturing footprint in the U.S. for tire makers, as kind of the last American tire company standing.
So it could be a good thing.
It could be a good thing for us, and one of the things that we're making sure, talking to the OEMs around looking to the capacities that we've got around the footprint, that we are saying, hey, we've got flexibility here. We'll do whatever to help with that, and we're very much committed. That's why we have so much capacity here. America's we spent billions of dollars in modernization, and great relationships with all of our folks, and we want to make sure that we leverage that. At the same time, we've got a great plant in Canada, outside of Toronto in Napanee. And so we make in Canada for Canada, right? We've got a couple plants in Mexico. We make in Mexico for Mexico. Some things cross-border when it comes to OEM or that, but not that much, right? On the big scheme of things.
I've always believed in, as a company and throughout my career, right, that you should manufacture in the region that you're in, right? It's the most efficient way to do it. In terms of the freight, the logistics, in terms of building products that are tailored for the communities that you live in, that you work in, that folks can buy the products that they've made as well. It makes perfect sense for me.
So we like to be in region for the regions all around the world. And I think it's an important thing to keep in mind and keep balanced, right? But we'll do what we need to do with that to make sure that that we stay competitive.
As it was in the early days, distribution remains essential to leadership. More than 1,000 company-owned stores are opened in less than a decade. Franchise tire centers and innovation in 1968 add more than 100 additional outlets to complement Goodyear's far-flung organization of more than 80,000 independent dealers.
I heard you in another interview say you're really excited about the retail aspect of the business, where that typically is not something a CEO would say, I'm really excited about retail. So, and I know maybe it's a little different than typical retail, but can you explain what excites you about that and how it's different?
Yeah, for me, I think retail, it goes from my prior experience, right, with the OEMs under Fiat Chrysler Stellantis, with our dealerships and our Mopar network. And coming in, I think it's amazing that we've got this unbelievable, one, it's a great marketing tool for us, right, to have 500 plus of our own stores, but a couple thousand across the U.S. and many thousands around the world, that we're out there with our billboard, our signage, customers coming in to the Goodyear name and our family of brands. But it helps us to be close to the end consumer, not just to the middle customer, right, of our distributors, the affiliate retailers, but we can interact directly with the consumer and to make sure we got the very best products for them. And I'm super proud of our retail team, right? The best performance in over 20 years last year. So we made tremendous improvements over the last year.
But what opportunity is there with electronic vehicles?
It's an area that we're very proud of in terms of our technology, in terms of the whole thing of our mantra to be #1 in tires and service. We are absolutely on point when it comes to our tires for that. We've got the electric drive 2 that's just come out, but we're growing at a clip of 20-25% a year in Asia, and that is primarily almost 100%, at least over 90% electric vehicle fitments there. We've got a really strong partnership with Tesla from the different models, the EV there. But we do purposely built EV tires for many customers, right, as well, across the OEM channels. And it is all about quiet. Suddenly when you don't have engine noise and all that, everything echoes in the cabin, right? And so it's really important. We are the touch point with the road, right? Anything can echo from us. So we've got foam and tire technology. We've got sensing that's built into it that also connects to the vehicle, not just the electric side, but just the whole thing with driver dynamics and so forth. And we've got some really cool projects going with some of our partners around really improving your overall driving experience, not just the fun and the handling piece, but the safety and the stopping distance above and beyond what was ever possible before.
One thing that I really liked that Mark said when he was reflecting about like the turbulent political environment, there's tariffs, there's socioeconomic challenges, there's supply chain challenges. He didn't seem to be too troubled by that, and he just kind of was taking that in stride. And honestly, I can't imagine many CEOs at this type of company, at a company of this size, they can't really worry too much about those outside factors because they have to keep moving forward. So it was interesting to hear the perspective of Mark's, because there is a lot of outside factors that do affect his business, and he needs to pay attention to them. But at the same time, you need to stay focused on your business. Fire round?
Let's see.
It's very exciting. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Let's see. I'd go to Shanghai.
Why?
Because I just came from there. That was the first thing that came off my head.
What book would you recommend to aspiring leaders?
I think the book The Goal by Goldratt is it's a classic manufacturing book, and it's good. It's something I read every couple of years.
What is a Netflix show or a TV show that you're binging right now, or the last one that you binged, other than the CEO series?
That's exactly.
Yep.
I did binge that recently.
Did you? Did you watch some episodes?
I did watch some episodes, man. They're very good.
Thank you.
No, so I have binge watched Tires. There's a show called Tires, right? We get a lot of great Goodyear press off of that. It's awesome.
You're a CEO, big company, huge P&L sheet. What do you do to de-stress?
We binge watch Netflix
There you
shows, right?
Binge watch tires.
Like to go scuba diving whenever possible, and forcibly go to the gym for stress relief.
What's an outside hobby?
To be the weekend handyman and take on projects that is like, wow, did I really think I was going to finish that up in one day?
Tell me about your best friend.
Wow. So my best friend's my partner. We met about a dozen years ago or so, actually both working in China, and we like to do the same things. We like to hoard decrepit old houses and fix them up for stress relief that causes additional stress.
There you go.
And just like to travel and have fun.
And what's your favorite thing about tires?
Favorite thing about tires is being #1 in tires. That's it.
That's a Goodyear plug.
It is a Goodyear plug, man.
Mark, I'm done.
Are you done?
I'm done. I'm done with you.
Thanks, man.
I really appreciate it. I know that we're in the Goodyear Blimp hangar, but I swear they sell tires, and there's tires at your headquarters and at other facilities, but I do appreciate you letting us be here and checking out the Blimp. It's really cool.
No, glad you guys came.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yep,
Yeah.
thank you.
One of the things that I really enjoyed hearing about was Mark and his relationship to his father, his grandfather, and to cars and just generally the industry. He seems really into it. He worked at Stellantis before, and it seems like he's a great fit for being the CEO of Goodyear Tire. He has an engineering background, and he used to fix cars and work on cars when he was younger. So he clearly has a passion for the business. I love the interview. I thought when Goodyear reached out and said, let's do it, we know the brand Goodyear right away, but who the hell is the CEO? And there's many CEOs at companies like Goodyear where they're massive. They have huge global footprints. They have tons of employees. They do a lot in revenue, but we don't know the CEO. Yes, I hope you got to know Mark a little bit more, and you got to know Goodyear, the business, a little bit more. And I hope you subscribe to our channel, because we're going to get to know more CEOs, because that's what we do. We have real conversations with real CEOs. Best interview ever so far? Probably, yeah. What is someone supposed to say when I say best interview ever? Are they supposed to be like, no. Just trust the process, will you?
All right,
They're very intimidating, your team. I'm looking at you, and I got 4 of them staring at me.
Move that way.
Yeah. I looked, I was like, yeah, now it's worse. I thought you guys were gonna present me with like a solid gold Blimp little trophy, but
It's the next time.
a t-shirt will
Next
do.
time.
Check your tires when you leave here.
I will. I took a plane. Are they on the planes?
They're on the planes
They're on
too.
the planes. There you
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Got it. Cutting.